Okay, there we are. Another day, another live stream. Ain't that right? What's up, everyone? Good to have you here. A Dutchie living in the south of France, wearing his very proud Dutch vest, I guess you call it in English. Jacket, I guess is an alternative name. Welcome, everyone, in today's live stream. Let me put the sound down because this is better. In today's live stream, what we're going to cover is how to get targets when prices in price discovery. Interesting. Of course, this means that we are going to cover Elliott waves, because one of the best ways to get targets in price discovery is knowing Elliott waves. It will significantly help you. However, there's a few other tools that will help you with targets from a just technical analysis perspective. And I have, in 2021, used a couple of tools that have helped me to have resistances on the chart that go all the way till, where we talking, 115K. Now, my first red box above the previous all-time high was this high. And you will see it on my chart if you go to older videos here. I had a red box here, led to a very big range. And now we have just hit the other red box. You can see a small wick here touching the red box, leading to a retracement of currently to almost 3%. Not bad, right? Is it random? Who knows? You know? But I'm going to show you what I use to look for areas of resistance while price is in price discovery at all-time highs. And hopefully you're going to find this useful. And if you have different ways of calculating targets while price is moving into unknown territories, please share. Right? In the end, we're a community. I always say, you know, like in the community that we have, especially in Discord, very, very active. Also in Telegram, very active. But we're all focusing on one thing, that's making profit, and we're all helping one another. I just happen to be the one that makes videos and creates content. But I read everything in Telegram, in Discord. I'm like an all-seeing eye, and I keep my eye open on things that I can learn as well. You know, there's enough to learn. So good to have you here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Getting tired. Make sure you get enough sleep, Violet? It's important, no? 7-8 hours usually. But welcome. Good to have you here. Beerabit, what's up? What's up? Welcome, everyone. Dawa is so interesting. The building a strat team already inspired me and others to start. I have a third meeting coming up about this topic quite soon, I believe. Let me have a look. The 12th of November, in 5 days, is going to be the next meeting about the strat team topic. Eva, welcome. Tavanrat, what's up? What's up? GP Jerome going to get fired, and last time to stick it to Trump. He increases the interest rate. Yeah, so we do have, apparently I heard a bit of news right now. I got to be honest that in my economic calendar, this is just a free public website, Trading Economics, impact on 3 countries, US only. I have 8 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. as high impact. So I might be live again tonight at these hours here. I keep an eye on what price is doing. And then I might be live on YouTube at that time. But let's see what it brings us. No, Jeffrey, welcome. Asan, Cheese, perception creates your reality. That then gives you your future. Inspirational quotes from Cheese, yo. Coming in hot. What's up, Cheese? Welcome. Matthias from Argentina. Good to have you here. Always popping in, always saying hi, mentioning Argentina. Very proud on your country, I can imagine. I mean, hey, I'm wearing my Dutch jacket, so I'm a proud Dutchie as well. I'm also French, by the way. I'm 50% French, 50% Dutch, but I have lived 31 years and a little bit in the Netherlands, and now it's my first few months in France. So I will Crypto Aman. I will show it. Yaniv, welcome. Good to have you here, man. On a birthday trip to Qatar. Enjoy. Wow, birthday trips. Not even a birthday at home. A birthday trip. That's a good reason to go, no? Enjoy Qatar, man. Enjoy. F Society. Mark, thanks for popping in, mate. Jocasta, welcome. Smash the like. Good morning from where I am. A sunny place. That's good to see. Also sunny here in France, though. 24-hour love stream. Yo. If I would do a 24-hour stream, that would probably it probably needs to be like, oh, we're hitting 100k subs or something, like, because this is very exhausting. I've done it once, but that was a gaming stream that I've organized where I collected money to give to the Heart Foundation. So in 24 hours, I tried to collect as much money as I could as a professional gamer during my live stream, and we collected 1,500 euros. Which we donated to the Heart Foundation in the Netherlands. I'll probably be able to find a picture about it quite quickly, actually. But yeah, that was a good time, though. Koens. Good times. Back in the day, there must be a picture somewhere on the internet with me holding the check. Let's chat about that again during the chatting Q&A, because of course now we want to move into analysis as well. I have my tab open so that I don't forget. We can look for the picture afterwards. Rate cut, sugar high. Holy moly, you guys are riding. Hey, White Rabbit Trading, which is Beerbit. Welcome, man. Welcome. How you doing? Had a meeting with Beerbit this morning. Know him very well. Like, he's the first person I really spoke to in the crypto industry, and he's the one that got me into Elliott Waves, by the way. Here he is with his other account. His White Rabbit Trading account is his YouTube channel, which he recently started. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out. But yeah, Beerbit, great trader, great analyst as well, and shares a lot of information in Discord. And his Discord thread is here. So Beerbit TA Lounge underneath Bitcoin TA, right? So this is the thread underneath, but we're gonna make it a separate channel so that it's visible, always visible. Okay, Hello Crypto, Bert, Greg, Sam, Patrick. What's up, guys? What's up, Manuel, Serega, Ben? Yes, CET, goed uit Den Bosch. Hey, groeten uit Zuid-Frankrijk. Mijn broertje die woont in Den Bosch, niet meer, maar een van mijn beste vrienden woont in Den Bosch. Okay, that was a little bit of Dutch, but Den Bosch is very close to where I grew up. One of my best friends lives there. So, a Colombian living in the Netherlands. Wait, Christian, okay, in the Netherlands, there you go. Wonder how many people from the Netherlands pop in. Rodney, good morning. Obelix, Karen K, Mario, AJ, no choke. Okay, let's start, guys. In favor of Traders Anonymous. Yeah, well, they blow their accounts for a reason, though. Okay, let's start with the analysis and also looking for the resistance areas above all-time highs. So what we're going to do, though, is first zoom out. You can see these areas pretty, like, this was resistance flipped into support. So I can probably just remove this. I'll keep this one on my chart. This one here. This one was touched, and now we hit this resistance over here. A nice bit of respect, no? That being said, let's again do a quick summary here. Because, of course, one of the best ways to calculate targets when price is at all-time highs and in price discovery is Elliott Waves, right? It's one of the best ways to analyze a chart using, of course, past price action for future targets. But it is a great way or a great tool to have in your toolbox. So let's then start with what we use here on the channel, mainly being Elliott waves. And I might actually consider to go to the monthly time frame first, but then I need to go to my other chart here so that we can talk about the monthly chart on Bitcoin, then the weekly, then the daily, then we go to the more lower time frame, the 1 hour, as well as maybe like the 50-minute look at what's happening. But then I want to mainly focus on looking for areas of resistance above all-time highs, right? How do you do that? Interesting. So the bullish scenario, of course, your most bullish scenario quite clearly would be a multi 1-2 here on the monthly time frame. So you then have your big 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, another 1-2, and you continue towards the upside, right? It's difficult, by the way, to give a very high probability to which bullish scenario. Like there's different bullish scenarios on a monthly time frame. Difficult to get a good read on which one has the highest probability. I prefer to use like weekly, daily, 4-hour information and use the probabilities on lower time frames compared to higher time frames. But nonetheless, this would be your absolutely most bullish scenario where you then eventually like just lift off, creating higher highs and higher lows continuously. Now, in this particular scenario that I have on my chart, you would expect an all-time high to be made somewhere between March 2025 and October 2025 with a price of 81K to 176K. That, of course, is a very big target area, right? But based on then the weekly, the daily, and lower time frames, we will be able to be a lot more accurate, right? So inside a wave 1, you would be looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then eventually a retracement in 2, continuation to the upside, creating another 1, 2. Of course, if price is going to move up here and volume is going to increase, we might be looking for a wave 3 that's already on the go, right? So then you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're actually in a wave 3 towards the upside, where this is then a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then you get a lot of 4, 5s at a higher price. Now the retracement target for a 2 would be around 50K, and then you continue towards the upside. So that is, of course, from an Elliott wave perspective, this target is calculated time and price wise based on the previous bull markets and how the fibs and fib times have been respected in the past. Of course, we use that to determine future price action and future targets, right? So this is your bullish scenario, your bearish scenario. I'll cover this on the weekly because it's more clear on the weekly. Actually, here I have to remove a couple of things, like the yellow count is not relevant anymore. But this is a chart I don't often use, only really if I want to do monthly time frame stuff, which I don't often do. So that is something to keep in mind on the monthly. Then we go to the weekly time frame. That target was on log was 100K, not 100 million. That would be something. So then we go to my main chart here, all right? So your conservative bullish scenario remains the weekly 1, 2, 3, 4, and you look for 5, 81K to 129K. That means that this becomes an area of interest. And just like what I explained in the previous update last night, it's an area of interest, right? Where you want to observe signs of weakness. It's not a must short. If you're in price discovery, you're never just randomly shorting because there might be resistance, right? You need a lot more proof. No financial advice. I mean, yeah, you do you. But you need, or I should say, I need a lot more signs of weakness, and the price, like the chart, needs to show me it wants to go down, right? I need to see signs of weakness before I would even consider or think about a short position. And as price is moving in price discovery, I need bigger ranges to also consider new compounding long positions or just new positions in general. But by all means, this is your target area for 5. Very big, very much depends on the move here that you have to the upside. With a multi 1-2 potentially here on the daily, you are eventually looking for a wave 3 and then a 4-5-4-5, potentially even another 4-5. So before you finish your yellow 5, you would need to see this similar to what we had here. Typical impulsive structure, couple of 1-2s, eventually you get your 3, and then you get a couple of 4-5s, right? You got this grinding structure, big push up, and then you have your grinding structure again, right? So that is something you have to wait for. As long as you don't see that, and price just keeps moving, right? Without very nice 4-5s, which take time, should generally be longer than what you have here, you're going to be looking for higher prices, where then you have your more bullish scenario. Now, the targets of this scenario for a 3, a 4, and a 5 are not yet on the chart. I prefer to observe more local price action here because your 3s can be very extended and yeah, you don't really like to estimate the target for a 3 because they can extend so much. So what I always like to look for is to wait for a bigger range to form in a wave 4 and then put the targets on my chart again. So yeah, once you start in a wave 3, we'll see how far it goes now. Daily time frame. The most bullish scenario remains the multi 1-2 here. Quick check. Okay, so your bullish scenario here remains the multi 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, another 1-2, and eventually want to move towards the upside. You can have retracement targets in this case, but then again, above all-time high, the targets would be wave 3s because after all the 1-2s, you're going to be looking for 3s. But I don't really find that too relevant at the moment because you have 3 1-2s. So for 3 times you can take a trend-based fib from the start to the end of one to the current low here. The only wave 2 still possible really would be some sort of flat WXY, but it's a higher probability your 2 is in here. Reason that this looks better as a 5-wave structure. And then your target for a wave 3 is the 1.618. Right, now this would be your white wave 3 target at 90k. And then you have your blue wave 3 target at 81k. Sounds familiar, no? And then you have your yellow wave 3 target at 74k. And you're like, but wait, we are at 74k. And you didn't even actually start a wave 3 because so far in this structure here, we can't actually count a wave 3 nicely, right? So this is why I prefer to keep an eye on local time frame. Your highest degree Elliott wave count, which is the yellow one, has a wave 3 1.618 minimum target at 74k. Now, wave 3s can extend to much higher targets, right? Easily to the 2.618, 3.618, 4.618. But so can the blue count, and so can the 1-2, right? The 1.618 of the white count. So in other words, wave 3s can extend so far, it doesn't generally make sense to try and estimate the target of a wave 3. But nonetheless, this is your bullish scenario. You used to have this, we still have this diagonal on the chart, lower probabilities just because you don't have overlap between 1 and 4. Same with diagonals that people pull where they do this, right? 1, 2, and then they look for 3, 4, 5. No overlap between 1 and 4 is very uncommon in a diagonal, and it lowers the probabilities for a diagonal structure. Now, in this scenario, you would look to top in a wave 5, blue wave 1, a 3-wave move down. Does have lower probabilities though. Weekly bearish scenario. WX and then a wave Y to the downside. In this case, you're looking for a flat in Y, 3-wave A, 3-wave B, 5-wave C, target 43.2, 30k. Right, 30k higher probability than 43.2. And the flat that we talk about is this one. So this, of course, is a target, a price discovery target for a bearish scenario, A, B, C. Common target 77 to 83k. All right. Minimum target reached. Most common target is the blue box. So all of this being said, and now we go into really like, how do you find resistance above price? Now, Elliott waves is one of the ways to get resistance, of course, on the chart while price is in price discovery. Now, on the monthly time frame, we still look up. On a weekly time frame, probabilities are higher for the bulls. On the daily time frame at the moment as well. No reason to be bearish. We have bullish market structure for months now already. Bullish probabilities have the highest probability, and they remain the highest probability, with a multi 1-2 having some higher probabilities than any of the diagonals really. But we keep an eye on diagonals and of course potential bigger retracements. And then if we go to the 1 hour time frame, then what you saw me do in the recent video is put the target area for a wave 5 on the chart, as there is the potential here to count a 1, 2, 3, 4 and look for a wave 5 to end. 5 target here has been touched, right? Price discovery target. Touched. So far, a bit of a retracement towards the downside. Now, depending on the retracement, we will know if price continues up or is going to have a bit of a bigger retracement. We will analyze this in a second, right? But you can see that target for a wave 5 has been hit, bit of a retracement. Interesting. So then we go to the 50-minute time frame. Talk about probabilities here. Oh, by the way, on the 1 hour, before I forget, if price here continue without any big retracement, continues moving towards the upside, and a big retracement or a retracement would at least need to hit the 0.382, which sits at 72.4k, right? So you can calculate another 5-wave, 3-wave correction and then continuation up, right? Another 1, 2 in that case. And of course, for bears, you want to see price fall. But your more bullish scenario, if you do move back up and take out this high, you would have to start considering 1, 2s here and then a 3 up. Not the highest probabilities. Highest probabilities are higher high on lower amount of volume, looking for a wave 5. That's your primary, and then you observe the reaction. And so far, we have a nice retracement down after hitting resistance that I had on my chart. This resistance here since 2021. So, holy moly, that's a while ago. That's a while ago. Beautiful. That's why the color is red, because I used different aesthetics back in the day. So then we get to this move to the downside, right? We don't have too much information just yet. But if we want to count this very bearish, it has to be an impulsive structure and not a corrective structure. So an impulsive structure, of course, a 5-wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction continuation, or a multi 1, 2. Now you can see that if we just look at the chart, you can see that we do have a bit of a wave structure, right? We didn't take this low. So actually we have a 3-wave structure, and then we have what's going on over here. If you want to count this as an impulse, then you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're looking for a 5. The problem is that the low of your 1 and the high of your 4 overlap, as you can see. And that is not allowed in an impulse, which means that this is out of the window. So you now need to look for either a diagonal or a multi 1, 2. Now in a diagonal, you would then need to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4. You look for a 5, retracement continuation. A contracting diagonal is by far most common compared to a expanding diagonal. Now if this is a contracting diagonal, and you would count it as a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, and 5, and you pull the channel from the end of 1 to the end of 3 to the end of 2, you can see that the upper trend line is broken. And the fact that the upper trend line is broken of this channel invalidates a contracting diagonal, and therefore you have to think about an expanding diagonal. But an expanding diagonal is very rare, absolutely never preferred, unless everything else fails. Which then, finally, leaves you with a multi 1, 2. This is your most bearish scenario as well. And in a multi 1, 2, you would then be looking for a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a bigger wave 3 to the downside, right? Now let's pull a few fibs on the chart, right? So if this would be a multi 1, 2, let me actually put this on the chart just for explanation purposes. So this is your higher degree 1, 2, then you have your lower degree 1, 2, right? Now in a multi 1, 2, what is good to know is that preferably, this is not a requirement, it's not a rule, right? But preferably your lower degree 1, 2, which is the white one, the second 1, 2, is preferably a bit shorter in time and price. Again, it's not a requirement, but it's a nice to see because of course your blue wave 2, that's a higher degree wave 2. If this one is a zigzag and your second wave 2 becomes a WXY, well, a WXY tends to be longer in time compared to a zigzag, which tends to be short in time, right? So the structures matter. But in a multi 1, 2, it is quite common to have the same structure in both of the 2s, right? Now, if you somehow count this here as a 1, of course, you would need to count a 5-wave structure here, which isn't too easy in this move towards the downside here. But nonetheless, you know, sometimes that is the case, an extended 5, for example. So if we count 1, 2, and then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is your second leg down. That's your second 1. You can see the second 1 is a little bit longer than the first one. That's no problem, right? That happens. And then you have your second 2. Now, preferably, your second 2 has, you know, ended already. If price is going to take out these highs, then your second 2 is really going to be very big compared to your first wave 2. Quick measurement here. So, pop. This high was made on the 4 fib time, meaning that time-wise, this correction for the white 2 is 4 times longer than the blue 2. Again, your white 2 is a lower degree wave 2, lower degree Elliott wave count, right? Preferably, it's actually a little bit shorter, but now it's 4 times longer. It does impact probabilities. And you can imagine if price now takes out this high, right? And this wave 2 becomes even longer confirmed because you took out the high, right? It creates an even bigger time gap between your higher degree 2 and your lower degree 2. So in other words, it lowers the probabilities for an impulse to the downside, increases probabilities that we have a 3-wave structure to the downside, that whatever happens here is then a corrective, and we still look for price to take out all-time high at a later stage. No? But preferably, as a little bit of more confirmation, you would like to see 75.2K hit before taking out this low, preferably. Yeah. So the double 1-2 at the moment is your most bearish scenario. That's also, or locally on the lower time frame, it's also your only bearish scenario, really. If that one doesn't work, your official invalidation is taking out the high of your 2 here. If you take out this high, then from a time perspective, things start to look a lot better as a 3-wave structure, and then you look for corrective structures primarily, and price to still take out all-time highs. So yeah, I also mentioned in the update last night that, and actually earlier in the stream, that trading in price discovery is actually relatively easy. The main question is if you have the patience to trade price discovery. Because shorting while in all-time highs and price discovery, right, without having any clear signs of weakness, is a portfolio death sentence. I said it yesterday, I keep saying it because we are here, and I know how I was back in the day when I started and we were in a bull market, and I got emotionally involved in, oh shit, you know, there we go. Where's my position? You know what I mean? But I've learned how to cope with all of that. I have my experience, I have my scars from the past, and I hope to at least have some people listen that do not randomly go short or randomly go long just because price does X, Y, Z. You need a plan, you need a strategy. If you do not, you build a plan or a strategy and you invest time in doing that instead of trading, gambling, trying to look for signals and all that stuff, because that doesn't work. You need your own plan, right? So signs of weakness can be anything, depends on the tools you like to use. In my case, right, when I look for a new long position, I would need to see more ranging structures at the moment. So I would like to see, first of all, price taking out the high, maybe bullish market structure, then supported with more bullish CVDs as well. No idea what CVD is doing. Bit of bullish CVDs here. I can see not enough yet. We don't have bullish market structure. Price is falling, falling, falling. There's no market structure change. Didn't take this high. So for me to have any interest in bullish CVDs, we need to take out 75.2K, create another higher low, see some more bullish CVDs. You know, that's when things are interesting. At the moment here, I have not entered any new position, nor short, right, nor long. I'm not interested. For shorts, I need to see more weakness, right, not yet confirmed. And for longs, I don't have enough information yet, right? So that's my my way of approaching this. Okay, and then we get to looking for targets without using Elliott waves. Sorry that I, by the way, chat, that I do talk maybe a little bit longer than usual, but we will get to chatting and Q&A, right? So I'll put the chat on the screen and I'll answer everything. Just to summarize, Elliott wave probabilities, right? The weekly is bullish, daily bullish. The 1 hour time frame, we have the potential of a wave 5 ending and a retracement. You at least want the 382 to be touched, but on the 15-minute time frame, we are still looking, can this be a potential multi 1-2, or are we looking for corrective structure to determine continuation or the potential of a bigger retracement, right? So on the 15, we're actually still waiting. Patience is a very important skill to have, but nonetheless, on the higher time frames, you would still look for higher prices. Okay, now that being said, time for finding resistances above all-time high. Not using Elliott waves, but using simple tools like Fibonacci. And I'll show you how I do it. And you can do it as well, or you can do it different. If you have another method, please share. I also like to learn a thing or two on about how you guys approach the chart. I have to say that the targets up here, the red boxes, including the red box that was touched here before the range started, right, these were made in 2021 as mentioned. So I don't actually really know in detail anymore some of the pools I did, like the individual Fibonacci pool. You see a 2 here and a -2, 2, 1. But I do know the KRZ, because the KRZ is, back in the day, I called it the Koens reversal zone. But that is a fib that I have always kept, and maybe you have seen it a couple of times in my fib template list here. So that is one that I will use. And of course, we can use fibs as well, and try to not use fibs then related to Elliott waves. But yeah, I'm an Elliott wave guy, and I kind of pull my fibs based on Elliott waves, of course. But we can try and find some confluences on the chart, but I want to start with the KRZ fibs. So first of all, what is a KRZ fib? I have external fibs and internal fibs, right? So back in the day, back in the day, I was also testing a trading strategy using these fibs and collecting data, and the 6 steps I always talk about. Literally used it on these fibs as well, where I have my external fibs, I have internal fibs. These were used for entries over here. This was then the stop, and then eventually you had targets towards the other direction. However, in this case, let's see, that's the range. I need, where is it? There we go. Wow, it goes out of my. There we go. Oh wait, I'm on log. That's the reason why. Lol. Just making sure that my fibs are correct. Let's put that. Oh. Up, 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 up. There we go. This is my external pool, right? So basically, and this is with all the golden pockets active, but let me remove all those golden pockets. Silence. So we do this. These are the main areas. The 236 and the 38. Right? And when pulling this on the chart, it can create very, very, very interesting pockets of support and resistance. Right? So let's just pull a few. I have not used this fib for a very long time because I didn't need to, right? So because we were not in price discovery. So give me a few minutes to warm up here. No. So you pull this fib from a high and a low, and you look at the respect of price moving into these pockets. So okay. That being said, let's have a look. Okay, right. You can pull them up, down, or down, up. Depends, of course, what you're looking for. But in this case, we look for bullish targets, not bearish targets. However, in that case, having this on the chart, right? Maybe I have to put prices on as well. Prices, middle. So you do have a zone here. This would be more something for the range version. Where is it? It's all not on log. I only put everything on log at a later stage. But taken from this high to the low. Okay. Oh man, I have to save them on log. 1 second here. Put them on log. Middle. Put the price on. There we go. Oh shit. Okay. It's interesting, right? Pull from the low to the first high here, and the all-time high is at the 1 twice before a big retracement. Now we have our wave 1 here. This was part of my previous red pocket that we had at the, well, old all-time high now that we made at the beginning of this year. So pulled from the low to the high, 1.236, 1.38 pocket, leading to a sideways range, finding support on the golden pocket, right? And now we are testing this structure again. We already tested it once though. So now, of course, we have a golden pocket up here. And I preferably select the pockets at the moment. Look for confluence. Yeah. 147, 154. Ah, that's the problem. Old fibs, old settings. No? In the past, I had everything extended. That was the way I did things. Okay, there we go. This one is not interesting. Okay, so. And we're going to have more pulls on the chart. Okay. So golden pocket area here in confluence with your 238, 2236. Not a lot of great confluence between the two pools after. So let's just park these for now. Get some new areas on the chart. New fibs. Yup. This takes a bit of time. Of course, first of all, using the fibs again, and then comparing everything with one another, seeing how I do. Currently, targets up here, these are a lot higher, even above my 115. Would be more interesting to actually look for more targets locally instead of so high. Now, come on. Okay. Oh yeah, now I remember. when you pull it from a low to a high or a low, it would be good to see this one hit, and then from there you look for price moving up through the different pockets. So price touched pocket, range, next pocket, support, right? Next one. The next one starts at 81k, which is also an Elliott wave level, by the way. And if you then also use the 618s, where is it? Wow, quite nice. So let me for now just select all of these. I don't want to go higher than 200, not relevant at the moment. Support moves up, resistance, support, resistance, support, next up, resistance. Bit of a range here in this pocket. Resistance, support, resistance, fails, right? Support, support, back up. So basically, right, what you're looking for is, first of all, price finds support or resistance in this one pocket on this one side, and then you just extend the pockets to the other side and just check how well is it respected. This one is nice, no? Okay. Okay, we're gonna merge these. Good morning, Crazy Potato. Good morning, good morning. New fib extension color. Now, these are fibs I haven't used in years. So, short story of how I got to them. It happened when price was moving up here. I know it exactly here, because I lost a couple of trades with the same mistake. You know, donkey doesn't hit his head at the same stone multiple times, but I did. And then I started to research it. And then that's when I figured like the pocket, so the 1.236 to the 1.38, is actually an incredibly well respected pocket for reversals. Right? Now, it's not your conventional pull, right, at all times, but it's such a good area for retracements and reversals. And just like here, I then figured that, hey, if price moves up, how well are then the other areas respected, right? So I did research. Back in the day, I collected data. Again, this is years old. I haven't used these fibs for years, so it takes a little bit of practice again to get into it and remember how I pulled the fibs and how I use them. But eventually, like I started it using when price was moving up, and we had like a rejection and a rejection and a rejection. So it was like every time we hit this area here, there's a reaction. But then how well does price move to the other side? So that's when I started pulling this on my chart, and I started to observe reactions at these areas here, right? As price then moves towards the upside. And what I then found was so interesting that I never removed these fibs from my fib template. So I always kept it, and it works best if you do multiple pulls and then compare your results, right? To find great pockets of support or resistance. No? So that's basically what we're doing right now. But it's not always your conventional pull. I don't even know if can I do one here? No, this one isn't. So it takes it's a little bit of fishing, but then eventually you find a pull and you're like, oh wait, that actually works really, really nice. So this one here, you close the candle inside the pocket. Okay, so let's see. All right, so your support, your resistance, few weeks of resistance, support, just moved above. I won't be surprised if you actually touch the golden pocket, but that's my other template. Support, price falls down, bit of support. I would guess golden pocket, but we can check that in a second. Oh. Price moves up. Up. I would also assume you have the golden pocket here. Support. Now, if I use the golden pocket template, let's see. Up. Oh, it's very busy. Oh, we just missed out on touching it here. But yeah, it's interesting to me. So that's how I use it. So besides Elliott waves, these red boxes. One second here. The red boxes here are found using other tools like fibs, but also this. And I don't really want to use fibs in an Elliott wave way because then people need to know Elliott waves to pull correct fibs. And in the analysis that I did at the beginning, we covered the Elliott wave scenarios and then the Elliott wave targets as well. But this is like a pull that anyone can make. You can just make these fibs, right? Like here's the settings. It's nothing special. I found this years ago, and if price is in price discovery, I just like to keep an eye on these levels. That's literally it, basically. And you can do a pull. You want price to first hit this one here, and then you observe how well it's been respected in the past. And if it's nicely respected, right, it has more relevancy for future price action. And that's then also how I create my resistances to the upside, besides using Elliott wave areas. Now, this area here with one of the pulls back in the day, it was a area of resistance. It was a pocket like this. That's why it said KRZ. One second here. If I well, this is the one where we are now. So here you can see KRZ times 2 x2. So this is I call the fibs KRZ. Back in the day I called it Kuhn's reversal zone. Yeah, I actually never shared this. It's the first time it's on stream. Because I made these fibs way before the YouTube channel was even a thing. This is very, very, very old. Oh, that's caps lock. Very old time stuff. So yeah. let's do a couple of weekly pulls. I don't like this extended. I might eventually save templates and turn that off. Back in the day, the old Koen loved to have extended fibs. Everything was extended. Okay, now we know that this one is nicely respected. We just keep it on the chart. Now on a weekly time frame, there's of course not a lot of pulls that one can do. I think that's pretty much the only two really interesting pulls here. On a weekly time frame, that is. $85, $87 is the next pocket. How does it compare with the... Oh, okay, yeah, so that's definitely an area of interest here. 81 to 90. Three zones all lining up in this one area here. Make it a bit more accurate here. This is another area here with two zones. That's around 120. I also, of course, I keep Elliott waves in my mind as well. I cannot not use Elliott waves. So of course, when I see numbers like these, it immediately makes me think of, is this an Elliott wave number? Like it just happens. Okay, time to go to the daily. So we have here on a weekly time frame a pocket 81.90, 116, 124, 227, 252. Might be another pocket around 150, but for that to check, or for me to check it, I first need to do this. Yeah. Okay. Weekly KRZ done. I'm gonna remove the pools that I did at the beginning because that was like fishing. Also text. Oh yeah. This was with the 9. Cool. Daily time frame. I guess we can kind of go in chatting Q&A. I mean, let me just put Elliott wave analysis in the beginning. I think we started at like 30 min or something. Let's just do chatting at the same time. What's up, Zandra? Welcome. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for being here. From the Philippines, actually quite a lot of people coming in from the Philippines. What's up, Raul? Oh, by the way, Raul, I clicked on answering on your email, but I still need to finish writing my message. But I was in the works of finishing or writing. Of course, my specific expertise is very much Elliott waves. But what we do now is looking for resistances above price, not using Elliott waves. So earlier today, or in the live stream, I did the Elliott wave analysis. So we're finished with that. But I'm now using a certain fib that I haven't used for such a long time. So in the beginning, it took me a little bit of time to get warmed up, basically, on how do I use the fib again, because I forgot. But now we are looking for resistance areas to the upside, right? Where we do not have any structure, we don't have any volume levels up here, right? It's all empty space. But I like to use the pockets you see on my chart to look for resistances above all-time highs. And that's beside using Elliott wave targets, of course, and Elliott wave structures, which we always use. I mean, it's so sick, man. Chook, chook, pop. It's not always your conventional pull, by the way, but takes a little bit of practice, I suppose. Clean up the chart here. Oh. Makes my life a lot easier. Do you never use liquidation levels? No. Never use them. Probably probably never really will. There's not a lot of great overlap between these two here. It's just I'm not someone that very easily moves into types of analysis that I don't know. And the reason, so in the beginning of my journey, of course I did, because I was experimenting with as many tools as I could. But now that I have a plan that works, and you know, there's just a less of a less of a, I suppose, motivation to learn all sorts of other tools or use all sorts of other tools instead of using what I use, which is proven to work for me. I like to keep things very simple. Actually, my way of trading is very simple. Of course, Elliott waves is very complex, but you know, after a long time, it feels simple. But then also the way I enter trades and what I look for as extra signs of strength or weakness, it's incredibly simplistic, actually. But yeah, you just, you know, for me. But I don't really like to add more stuff. And if I notice like, hey, you know, it's time for me to change something or update something, then that's the moment where I'll be looking at the tools I use. And first I'm going to see, can I simplify it? Instead of adding a tool, I look to simplify and remove rules. That's what I prefer, making it more simple and see if it improves the strategy. And then if it does, that's cool. If it doesn't, that's when I might eventually start to look for other tools. But generally, I keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. And there's, of course, nothing wrong, by the way, with using liquidation levels or any other tool that anyone uses. I think in my opinion, every strategy, every plan, every tool can work. It can make you a profitable trader. It's just how you implement it and the plan around it and the psychology. But you can use trend lines, patterns, only fibs. You can even trade the fibs that I have on my chart. If you only use this and you make a plan around it, cool. You know, that's amazing, no? But it's mainly about making a plan and not just, oh, I use a trend line and now I trade every hit, but you need to have a why, right? Like, collect data. Is the second hit of a trend line the best? Is the third hit the best? Is the fourth hit, or do probabilities slowly go down? Like, you want to track it. If the trend line is in confluence with the golden pocket, is that good? You know, does it improve my win rate? Where do I put my stop? If you collect that data, you will significantly outperform 95% of the market, no? Nice. Support. So we touched it here. Support, move up. Bit random here. We had support here, but then we broke through, never came all the way back. Next area, bit of resistance. How does it compare though? So of course the expertise here is Elliott waves. I do use some other tools which I always show in my video, right? There's no hidden agenda. Every tool I use, everything I use is always in the content, except for this, because I only use the KRZ, these fibs, in price discovery, and I never use it in any other way really. So it's very rare to see me pull what feels random, of course, and where we look for confluences between different fibs. Because usually everything I do is incredibly organized, and not often do I go into using this fib where I check for, of course I have an eye for the pulls, and there's a way to use it, but in a way it's also a little bit random. You look for a pull from a low to a high, where eventually you have price hitting this box as support, and then the move up should respect the boxes. And the better it respects these boxes, the better or the higher the probabilities of future boxes to be respected as well. And if you can then combine these boxes, right, with others, it increases your resistance. Price discovery is when you are in price discovery is if you're at all-time high, right? So if we look at the chart of Bitcoin, right, look at the red dotted line. We have never been higher. There is no structure here. There's no previous price action above the current all-time high that we made at like 76. So the moment price moves into all-time highs, which it basically does now, you are in price discovery, because you don't know. There's no previous structure that you can rely on, right? There are no previous volume levels, right? There's no like fib pulls you can pull all the way up here, and you know it all depends now on, of course, using past price action for future resistances and stuff, and of course your very local price action. Now, from an Elliott wave point of view, I have my weekly targets and everything that I always share in the content. But I also love during price discovery, which is, in other words, you're at all-time highs, right? I love to keep an eye on the lower time frames as well and give price time to range, right? What are we cooking today? We are cooking resistance levels while in price discovery. So I'm just checking what I can find as price is at all-time highs, of course. And I just want to see, of course, above us, we don't have resistances, like quote unquote, because we don't have structure, we don't have volume levels, right? Time frame horizontals, we don't have it here, but we can use fibs. But the way I use fibs might be a little bit different compared to what others do. So yeah. But if you have a question about the fibs I use and how I came to use this, I happily explained the story of how I found it. I did it earlier in the stream, but maybe some new people joined, and why I use this. And it's incredible. Like, I mean, it's not like here is one example, and then of course it's part of a bigger one as well. So there's a 2 here, no? But yeah, these are really nice to use in practice. And actually, when the range started, this one here, this was a resistance area on my chart above the previous all-time high, which we rejected from and then started ranging. So that was one of those boxes, one of the KRZs, or actually a mix of. And after we eventually range, I removed it. And now this is the next one here, where we are right now, right? So you can see a little bit of resistance here. But yeah, that's basically how I look for interesting areas. outside of Elliott waves, because of course Elliott waves, I have my target zones. I look at local price section. That's very easy. But then I like to use these fibs and see how price reacts at certain levels. Yeah. Where's a box? I have a box somewhere on my chart, but where is that? Oh, it's all the way up there. I mean, we hit this one now, and it's already marked. It's already a target area. But just for the sake of completion, this one is so low. Don't really want to go too high yet as well. No? I do think the most interesting pull is actually this one here compared to the others. Of course, we are having a little bit of resistance here as well, which is fine. This one hasn't really proven itself too much yet. It's maybe a little early. If I only compare these two, then we have a bit of confluence here as well as up here, and this is like, this one is in the middle. Like it's not great confluence here. I'll definitely rewatch the stream. Cheers, Carl. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning when I used these fibs, not gonna lie, it was a bit messy because I had to warm up and what the fuck am I doing again? But you know, we got there. How do you hide your Elliott wave lines and only show the wave numbers on Tradingview? Well, it's the object tree. So here on your right, you have this object tree and data window. And then what I do is I can have a scenario. Let me actually, I'm on a daily time frame. So let's, for the sake of the example, have this here. I have a couple of numbers. I have two fibs. I have a horizontal on my chart, right? And what you can do is put this in a folder, and then you can just click on this eye and click on hide. Now, how does this happen? Imagine you use some tools. Right, doesn't actually really matter. You can use all sorts of stuff, and you want to put this in a folder. So you have your Elliott wave scenario, you have your count here, you have your fibs and whatnot. This is one scenario. You click on shift, right? This one is selected. Click on shift till the brush, click on this folder, create a group of drawings, right mouse click, rename, test, enter, and now just move it around. Yeah, this one needs to prove itself more. I don't want to use it yet. Oh. 200 should be interesting, no? Okay, and we continue. So here's, yeah, I don't have, no. So here's another, this is just the range version, but it's another, you pull it from a high to the low and then a bit of resistance. You know, it's a nice little tool. But we're looking for targets to the upside now, not the downside. I mean, of course, I can do this private off stream as well, but why not do it on stream? Answer some questions in the meantime. Some guy on YouTube said a theory that every low of a cycle when multiplied by 5.3 gives us the top of that cycle. Do you believe in such kind of analysis? If there is a statistical back end to it, like if there's data that's collected, then it's interesting to keep in mind. Yes, but I would need data. So you can't just say it, right? You need research, and someone has to present the research, and then based on the research, we can get a better idea of if that's correct. So, but it's an interesting take. 5.3. The low of a cycle was at 15 point something now. So times 5 is 15, 30, 60, 75. That would be like 80 something. 15 multiply. Oh, wait, 15. And then you have 30, 45, right? 60, 75, 90. Ooh, 90 to 100 in that case. If you do not, so multiply, if you don't count the first 15K and then add another 5 on top, else it's 80, yeah. So yeah, it would be between like an 80 and 100. On the 50-minute current, price just hit the 886, which increases probabilities it's a B or X. We might take the low unless we hit the 886 on top. Is the analysis correct? Quickly checking here. So yeah, so the fact like price here touched the 886, right? If you take a fib from the low to the high, price touched the 886. Let me just, for less confusion, do this. So you touch the 886, right? And that means that this move to the upside has a lower probability of being an impulse. Higher probability that this is corrective, which indeed it increases probabilities to still take the low, and as a bare minimum, you continue ranging sideways. But yes, that would be correct. Let me quickly have a look. Going to the... Oh, I was on log. Did you? No, you didn't yet touch the 886. So it's not yet relevant. 886 is not yet touched. But if it gets touched, then it becomes interesting. I just did stuff on log, which does provide a bit of a difference. I need to be very sharp on what I use on my chart here. In both cases, yeah, want to use log. I mean, we're talking about targets that are so high as well. So I better use log. But then this has to be log as well. Double check. Yeah, okay. Can you replace the white one in your multi-1 2 to the 21st of October and make a running flat? Well, a running flat is very rare. And of course, therefore never preferred unless everything else fails. So I like to avoid running flats unless we can't use anything else anymore. 1 second. You didn't want to hear that. So yeah, I would stay away from running flats unless you can't count it any different. Yo, maybe a band-aid, man. How you doing? Oh, yeah, we are meeting in an hour. Gwendy Zoo, indeed, another all-time high. Well, actually, I think it's the first. Oh no, it's the second all-time high during the lifetime of the stream. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for still being here, man. Gwendy Zoo has been one of the early followers of the channel, long time ago. Nasdaq hit 21K. Nice to see you use the new emote as well, Obelix. So for the members, you guys got emojis. How do we find emotes here? I actually don't know. What's the code? Oh, here, Koens. So that's the one. Koens happy, Koens gold. Koens sad, disgusted, happy, party, sleeping, shook. Couple of stuff. New. They're brand new. Made by Jeroen. With the wave 3 of 5 from 52K to current high. With the wave 3 of 5 from 52 yeah, okay, I see what you did there. You are probably looking for this. You don't really want to see this level hit though. It's not an invalidation, but you don't want to see it hit anyway. And then of course you're looking for your move up, 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 up. Eventually, up, 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 up. Fips will be higher. Then you get your 4, and then one more move up in 5. Is that it? Also, I can't use the emojis, but I'm a silver member. That's because you're silver through Patreon. So only people registered through YouTube can use the emotes because it's part of the YouTube system. So you can't register on Patreon, but then get the stuff on YouTube as it goes through Google. The 5 of 3 could be already finished. Yeah, that would lead to a bigger retracement. That indeed would give you quite a low balling target, of course, because yeah, then you're looking for a 4, retrace back, and then one more move in a 5. Would mean you definitely want, of course, a deeper retracement to the downside. But yeah, I know what you're looking at. Yeah. What chart can you use best for the 886 or other fibs? Because my chart MXC did touch the 886 and yours not. The 886 for me is, or the 886 is found by myself on the Coinbase chart. I've not used any other chart for, I can't even remember when I used another chart. I think the previous one I ever used was the Bybit chart, but that's years ago. And the 886, like, it's almost like a strategy, but the 886, more like guideline, was developed by me on the Coinbase chart. So that's the one I use. Yeah. Yeah, Karen K, you can check it in the Diamond group, of course. From Poland, Miku, welcome. Welcome. Wise words and great work. And now, as for the self-taught person, please, are there any rules for the behavior of Bitcoin price on the day of the Fed meeting? There's no rules when there is a Fed meeting or other types of news, right? So there's no rule or guideline that price has to act in a certain way when there's news. It just increases volatility, and then based on your Elliott wave count and your probabilities, you have if you have your correct count, then the probabilities are very high. You already know what price is going to do. Might be a bit more volatile or a bit more spiky, but 9 times out of 10 your TA would be in a good direction with whatever the news does. Yeah, of course, if you are a fundamental analyst, you will probably you'll just focus on news. If you TA only, you'll focus on TA. If you mix, you use a mix. But I only use TA, and yeah, news is never surprising. White 3 is 21st of October. White 3 is the 21st, but here 1 2 1, but then your 4 is overlapping with your 1, which is not allowed in an impulse. The 5 or 3 could be already finished. Yeah. Yeah, and then you would look for 4, but then you need a bigger retracement. Sandra, welcome. Are we going on a weekend dip, or is it corrections are normal? I mean, in any price discovery and all-time high movement, it is very normal, of course, for price to have corrections. I mean, look at it here, right? You move above all-time high, which was here, right? And then here you had a dip of almost easily like 10% move to the downside, and then here on one day you had another 10% move to the downside, and then a little bit later you had a 18% move to the downside, and then of course this was a bigger retracement, 30%, and there you go up again. So it's very, very normal, and this is on a daily time frame, so not even related to 15 minute. If you go to the 15, you will, I mean, look here, there's definitely retracements here on the 15. There's a spike here to the downside on the 15 for sure. So it's very normal for price to have ups and downs in price discovery. But of course, we will continue to look at the price action with our Elliott wave glasses on. And yes, that's correct. Every time, so that's why, like, if price is pushing. I know I always say, like, if price is pushing, wait for a range to form. Like, for me, it doesn't make any sense to enter in the middle of a quick move. You're either in it before, right, or one waits for a new range to form, and then that range will give you a new, like, a plan again, right? Like, and probabilities for continuation, yes, the no. That's where the entries are made, right? So the moment price pushes, right, entries are preferably, of course, made before the push, and then during the push, of course, in hindsight, you're like, oh, if I traded the breakout here, I would have been profitable. Yeah, cool. But what if price did this? And then you would say, oh fuck, I should never do that again. It's generally emotional trading, of course. So if price moves, if I'm not on, I mean, I don't have any feelings of like the FOMO and stuff anymore. But if you do have problems missing out on such moves, then just close everything, close the chart, whatnot, and do something else. Come back later and wait for a price to range again, because that is what gives you the clarity. That's what you need. Let me get back to finding resistance, by the way, as well. At the moment, we are looking for resistances above all-time high IDM. And Mark, gotta go. Trade safely with the Fed madness. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks for being here as well, man. Cheers, cheers. Cheers, cheers. My wave 4 is the 4th of November, running flat. Well, so a running flat, of course, it's a structure, just uncommon. And I'm not sure what you mean below wave 1, but if a wave 2 takes out the origin of 1, then that is not allowed. Yes. So you're not allowed to take out the origin of a wave 1. Right, so 1, 2, wave 2 is never allowed to take this low. That would be an invalidation of an impulse. Okay, anyway, I think we go to a lower time frame again, 4 hour. So we're zooming in slowly but surely. Looking for more pulse. There we go. Very nice. Yo, Andrew, how you doing? How's your trading been, Andrew? You've been doing good with the move to the upside, the price action? Or have you stayed out of the, you know, like not been involved because of the news last few days, and tonight we have some more coming as well? Interesting. Dun, 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 dun. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh. Let's see. What do we have on the 4 hour? 79k. The area around like 80k is definitely an interesting one. Mm-hmm. I think we just hit the 886. Yeah, so on my chart, actually, we didn't. Someone just mentioned it just now here. So on my chart here, we missed out on this one. We missed out on hitting the 886. It's close, but it's not touched. So I can't use it. However, we did now take out this high before taking out the low, which increases probabilities. This is a three-way structure, which now increases probabilities that whatever is happening here is corrective, increasing probabilities for price to still take out all-time highs at a later stage. Because your only bearish scenario really was a multi-1-2 now. But now if this is all of this is your second two, this is your first two, your second two is so big now compared to your first two, it lowers probabilities. So yeah. We can still have a bigger diagonal. Yeah, but you then still need to wait for wave 2 to finish, and then a wave 3, and then a wave 4, and then a wave 5. Right? So we still 1, 2, and then you need 3, 4, 5. So, and then of course you expect a retracement. And so by the time you have a diagonal, like, of course we continuously analyze, but if price would come back down here first, you're going to first count this probably as a double zigzag, depends on your X, W, X, Y. That's going to be your first count. And then if you make another low, you might start to look into diagonals. Yeah. But it's not a primary at the moment. Yeah. I'm not in a position for now. That's perfectly fine, right? Might even be a very good decision. If you're not... wait, 4 hour. Especially with all the news. And so I gotta say, since down here, I've not entered anything new as well. Nope. Not interested yet. No ranges that are like big enough. We have news again as well later. So I never really enjoy trading just before or after news. I tend to be more patient. Okay, so this is 78 to 79. Okay. Any other pools that we can find? Oh, there is one, but that's a daily time frame one. Wait. Where did I pull this from now? This must be... Oops. Damn, I forgot. Oh, what was the pool that I had? Nice. Damn, it switched. I don't know what the pool is that I had on my chart. Oh, wait. There we go. Yes, and yes, this is the one. Put that in. Put it in there. Very nice. We can still have a bigger diagonal just too soon. Too much news. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And there's no like hurry. You know, it's like doesn't matter as a trader where price is. It's about the volatility. Okay, now let's check if we can find anything else. So this one, yep. These are daily time frame. This one doesn't have enough information yet. There's not a lot of other pulls I can do on the daily. Okay, we're done on the daily. We're done on the weekly. We are pretty done on a 4-hour here. This is a daily pull. We used a 4-hour locally. One hour is a little bit low time frame to use these fibs. So yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so let's see what we have if we go to the daily in between the weekly and the 4-hour. What do we get? What do we get? So we toggle on these. Daily, active, active. Wow, quite a big gap here, no? We'd still need to check if I can find anything. So first here we have 76 to 78, small little one. 76.1, 77.5. Move this one around. 78.5 to 79. This was a very, very big area though. 81 to 90. But in that area we then have the smaller one, which is a 4-hour one. Oh. Also quite a gap here between 90 and then we pretty much go to 118. It's just the confluence of the different fibs together. Need to wait and see how we do have like levels internally here, like about 100 on the weekly. Let's see with the daily. We go from, let's see, we are now here finding resistance at our resistance here. Next up, it's just not in confluence with another level, but next up here you have 82, 88, 95, 104. Oh. And then you have the 4-hour. Yeah, let's focus on the weekly and the daily first. I want to check one final thing here. And then we're pretty much done. So these are the... Oh, wow. That's very tiny. Mm-hmm. Right, I don't want to have text. That's actually... Lol. Okay, there we go. Lock skill is on. Okay. And then the final thing I want to check is using my other one, this one, which apparently is not yet. Oh, it doesn't go higher than the 438. Never mind. I wanted to check something, but it's not worth it. It's too high. This one. No. Not interesting. Okay. Nice golden pocket, golden pocket, golden pocket. Next 236 area. Very, man, it looks very messy. Okay, there we go. Oh, this might be interesting indeed. Put the box there. Okay. And back to normal. I might just save my templates without levels and price. Oh. And without the extended lines. There we go. Okay. So daily we are at a bit of resistance. Then we have 82 to 83.6. But on the daily there, it's such a big gap, man. I'll probably, like, we do have confluence here between two pools, but I'll be very much interested in seeing what price does at each individual level. We are just gonna, so as long as price is moving up, I will keep an eye on the KRZ fibs as price moves along. It's not going to be something that I will highlight in my videos like, oh, I pulled this fib here. Oh, come on, I want to... I pulled this fib from X to Y. This is more live stream stuff. But it will be interesting to keep in mind. And when we talk about resistance also in videos, then this will be like it. I will cover the boxes, but I don't cover how the boxes came to be. Then it's just like, you know, make sure to ask in the live stream or something, because it's not Elliott waves related. This is something else that I started to use back in the day. Okay, let me also finally make this, by the way, weekly. Pleasure, Ben Positive. I like your channel name, by the way. Make the world a better place, no? Cheers, Allison. I will shout out the resistance areas that I have on my chart very soon, in case anyone is interested. Daily KRZ 2x. Oh wait, this was with the golden pocket. Bless you. That was my wife. Daily KRZ 2x. Okay, save, and then the 4-hour time frame. I will probably sometimes on some days do some new pulls and check some other stuff, but at the moment we are good. Put it back on the chart. Look at the confluence. Oh. And then also, how does it compare to the other targets? So here I have normal fibs here, so that's not KRZ. We do have KRZ here, which is just below my weekly one. All the others are fibs. What do we have here? KRZ, yeah, so this is a golden pocket one. That's not KRZ related. Okay. But also here, there's definitely stuff going on. So, yeah, here we are, 76 to 77.5, then above 78, 79. Then there's a bit of a gap, and we pretty much moved to 81. 81 to 90, that's a very big area on the weekly. But then, of course, we have internally, we have a daily one, 82, 83, and then a 4-hour one at 88, 89. So those would be focus areas inside. So it's like Elliott waves. You have like your big weekly target area, but then you have a daily and you have a 4-hour one, right? It's just lower time frames. And as new information comes in, we can get more pulls on lower time frames as well. There is a big gap here, but I'll keep an eye on the individual levels. But then here we have again 116, 123. Then we have 127, 120, or 130 basically. And then we move into the 140s. And then after the 140s, again, we have a big jump and we move to 220 to 250. It's not yet relevant. Probably by the time you would potentially even move that high, like we will be able to look for areas here, price discovery, resistance areas. But this is what we have at the moment here. On the chart. It's actually nice that the red box here is engulfing the two areas I found now, so that's a nice little bit of confluence here. Yeah, these are fibs only, these two red ones here. So I'm not sure if I want to keep those. Probably gonna change my folders around because I wanna have these boxes in my targets, where I also have all of my target boxes. I'll probably give these a different color as well. Probably make them blue. So yeah, there we go. Now on the oops, take log off again. So on the lower time frame here, we moved to the upside. Price now took out this high. If you've seen the analysis earlier, Elliott wave analysis, taking out this high now increases probabilities that this is a 3-wave structure, because this is a very long correction. If in a bearish scenario, you would be looking for 1, 2, 1, 2 continuation down, but your second 2 is now so much longer than your first 2. It lowers the probabilities. Compared to your 1, it's okay, but it's just lower. It's just probabilities, and it lowers the probabilities. A diagonal here cannot be counted, or it's too early. A normal impulse to the downside cannot be counted because of overlap. So the only opportunity really was 1, 2, 1, 2. You can still have a bigger corrective structure, of course. That's no problem. You can still move in double zigzag or WXY. It depends on this move to the upside, right? Is this an impulse or is this corrective? We have volume increasing to the upside at the moment. So if impulsive, we preferably, of course, like this to be a 1, 2, and then move in a 3, a 4, and a 5. Right, so you take a fib from the low here to the high, toggle on the 618. This is your invalidation for a wave 4. So you want to see 1, 2, 3, climb, climb, 4, 5. You definitely want to go higher for a wave 3. Because if price would move down now, if it touches this high, it already invalidates wave 4. So the only alternative you then have for the bulls is counting a 1, 2, 1, 2 here for a 3 to the upside. And of course, the other option is you move down, take the low, with the potential of a bigger corrective structure. It's just that the corrective structure will have a higher probability now. Whatever the corrective structure is, either finished or you're looking for a bigger one, doesn't matter, but the probabilities, the bias is taking out this high here at a later stage. So let's see, did we hit... We didn't hit the golden pocket. If price does touches the 0.7 at 75.9k, then it significantly decreases probabilities for a double zigzag in a WXY. So that's an important level. If the 0.7 is hit, probabilities are higher for sideways structures or flat structures. But not going as deep, so you don't expect price to move as deep compared to like double zigzag levels. So the 0.7 is important in that regard. And other than that, of course, you have the potential of just continuation with the finished 3-wave structure, but it doesn't matter. Your probabilities are higher for a corrective structure now. So yeah, 89k region. 89, what do we have? Yeah, I don't know. Is that a thing? The 89 region. I've started doing boring stuff. That's good though, for my own, but feeling like missed something. What do you mean, AJ? What do you mean with you feel like you missed something? Of course, collecting data goes step by step. Like, what you don't want to do is try to collect everything at once. So, of course, try to collect data on a couple of things at the same time. And then, of course, the more time you have, the more you can collect at once. But, yeah, find the setups according to your plan. Save them in a folder. And then collect some data of all those setups. And then write down some new stuff you want to check, go back to the first setup, and then go through all of them again, but then collect the new things. That's how I did it. Instead of trying to collect like 10 things at the same time. It also feels more like, it feels like you make progress a lot quicker if you do it in such a way. But it's good you're doing collecting data. That's important. It takes time. It also takes a lot of energy. It can be a pain in the ass. Price is moving now. Interesting. But yeah. We have some other stuff to do. Also, probably later tonight, depending on where price is, I might go live again around Fed News, which is in 4 hours. Doing the same. Yeah, cool. That's good, AJ. That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah. That's that. The Elliott wave analysis was done earlier in the live stream. So if you missed the Elliott wave analysis, just go to the beginning. You'll be able to find it. Can you please label the wave count as well? Not sure what you mean, Homo sapien guy, but locally, if this is an impulse, you count it as a 1, 2, and this is your 3. But looking for targets in a 3 is never very interesting. You want to just take a 0.618 and just move that 0.618 up and up and up. because that's your invalidation for 4, right? So you're just up and up and up and up. Especially because volume is increasing. So either this becomes a 3-wave or a 5-wave now. So yeah, you would just count it 1, 2, 3 or ABC in a bearish scenario. But always also Homo sapien guy, feel free to ask during the or in Diamond, right? That's perfectly fine as well. Cheers, Karen K, Oblix. Love watching your streams, breathe of fresh air in the space. Thanks, B. Appreciate it, man. And yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So thanks for watching, everyone. Also for the people that watch the non-Elliott wave related stuff, but me messing around with the KRZ fibs, looking for those pockets to the upside. And yeah, that being said, thanks for watching. Tonight is news, so quite likely I might be live again. Ask a question on Discord to avoid wasting time here. Sure, Obelix. Sure. I'll make sure to check your question, which is probably in the gold section, I guess. But if I don't see it, just make sure to ping me again. Legendario, welcome, and also thanks for being here, guys. See you later. Again, trade safe, right? Trade safe.